Have you ever been scrolling through the App Store, looked at a price, and just wondered, how did they land on that number? It seems so simple, right? A few bucks here, a few bucks there. But behind every one of those price tags is this whole world of strategy, psychology, and some pretty serious math. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and decode that entire process.
It all kicks off with a question just like this one. Why is everything $4.99? Is it just some kind of trick to mess with our brains? Well, yeah, kind of. But that one single cent is just the tip of a massive iceberg. And believe me, the logic behind it is anything but random.
And today, we get to see exactly how the sausage gets made. We've actually gotten our hands on an internal pricing strategy document for a brand new app called VoiceTasks. This is it. This is the secret playbook, the real research, the debates, the decisions that go into a price before you or I ever even see it. Okay, let's dive in.
So here's the game plan. We're going to walk through their whole process piece by piece. First up, how they scoped out the competition. Then we'll get into how they picked their actual business model. After that, the fun stuff, the psychology behind the numbers. Then we'll see if their projections show it'll actually make money. And finally, how they'll know if any of this is even working.
Okay, first things first. You just can't set a price in a vacuum. It doesn't work that way. So the very first thing the VoiceTasks team did was some market recon. They had to scope out who's already out there and, more importantly, what people are already comfortable paying for tools like theirs. And what they found is actually really interesting. You can see this clear range. They looked at a direct competitor, Timo, which is also for neurodivergent users, and that's sitting around $60 a year. Then they looked at the big general productivity apps. You've got Todoist at $48 and TickTick down around $36. Right away, this gives them a price corridor, a zone to play in.
So here's the key takeaway. They didn't just throw a dart at a board. They found the average price, which was about $48 a year, and they parked themselves right smack in the middle. At $49.99, their price isn't the cheapest, but it's not the most expensive either. It's a strategic move to signal I'm a premium product, but I'm also a fair deal. All right, so knowing how much to charge, that's only half the battle. The other, maybe even bigger half, is figuring out how you're going to charge. For the folks at VoiceTasks, the answer was what's called a freemium model. So what is freemium? It's pretty simple, really. You let people try before they buy. Their internal doc gave two huge reasons for going this route. First, voice apps like this have ongoing server costs. They need a subscription to stay alive. And second, for their target audience, users with ADHD, getting started needs to be as easy as possible. Freemium just knocks down that first wall. But, a free tier is a delicate balance. You have to give away just enough for it to be useful, but not so much that nobody ever needs to upgrade. So you can see here, VoiceTasks lets free users create 10 tasks a month. But they hold back the real power user stuff, like integrating with your calendar or their smart scheduling feature. The whole point is to let you have that, aha, this is awesome moment, and then want more. And eventually, once a user gets hooked, once they hit those limits, and the app becomes part of their daily routine, well, they're going to need a solution, right? And this is that solution. You've got the monthly plan at $4.99 for people who want flexibility. But look at the yearly plan, $49.99. They make a point to show you that you're saving about 17%. That's a huge nudge to get you to commit for the year. And then they've got the family plan, which is just a fantastic deal for a group. Each tier is designed with a specific person in mind.
Okay, now we get to the really fascinating part. Those numbers, $4.99, $49.99, I promise you they were not picked out of a hat. They are completely rooted in decades of pricing psychology. It's all designed to make the prices just feel better. Let's break this down. That monthly price is kept just under $5. Why? Because that feels like buying a cup of coffee. It's an impulse buy, you don't overthink it. The annual price is kept just under $50. That's a huge psychological wall. $50 feels way more expensive than $49-something. And then that family plan, it's priced so that if just 2 people use it, it's an absolute no-brainer. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is a direct quote from their playbook. This technique is called anchoring. By literally labeling the yearly plan as best value, they create a psychological anchor. It makes the other options seem less appealing by comparison. It's a very deliberate push to get users to sign up for that stable, predictable yearly revenue. So the strategy is sound. The psychology is clever. But is this thing actually going to be profitable? This is the point where the team had to switch from theory to fortune-telling. They had to build a financial model based on a few really big assumptions. This number, right here.
This might be the single most important number in their entire business plan. They are betting that for every 100 people who try the free app, 5 of them will eventually pay up. I mean, the success or failure of this whole thing really hinges on whether they can hit or hopefully beat this conversion rate.
Now, of those 5 people who do decide to pay, they're not expecting an even split, not at all. Because of that best value anchor we just talked about, they're projecting that a whopping 70% of paying users will go for the annual plan. Then another 25% will want the monthly option, and a tiny sliver will grab the family plan.
And when you put it all together, the math starts to look something like this. If they get 500 new paying customers a month, spread out like they predict, they're looking at a monthly recurring revenue of just under $2,300. This is the number that tells them if the business can actually fly. But look, a projection is really just an educated guess, right? After the app launches, how will they really know if the strategy worked? That's where this final piece of the puzzle comes in. You have to track the right things.
This is what it all comes down to. Forget about downloads. It's about these 4 numbers. First, that conversion rate. Are they hitting their 5% target? Second, MRR, or monthly recurring revenue. Is that number growing month over month? Third is churn. How many paying customers are canceling? And finally, LTV. On average, how much is one customer worth over their entire time using the app? These 4 metrics, they're the ultimate report card.
So after peeling back the curtain and seeing all the research, the psychology, the forecasting, everything that goes into that simple little price tag, I'll leave you with a final thought. Does a $50 a year app still feel expensive to you? Or, knowing everything it's trying to do and the business it's trying to build, does it maybe feel cheap?